Next, we'd like to hear from Mr. Rashad Scott to discuss the lack of broadband internet service. Come up and state your name for the record, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Rashad Scott, and I come before you as a resident of Henry County to discuss how the lack of broadband internet access is affecting my household, my community. What is broadband internet access? The FCC defines broadband internet access of speeds of 25 megabits per second. And megabits are simply tiny units of data that are used to access the internet. And in our county, we have internet access from AT&T, Charter Communications, and Comcast. AT&T states through their UVerse internet service, they offer internet speeds in our county of up to 45 megabits per second in Henry County. They charge $40 per month for that speed, and when bundled with their phone service, it comes out to about $55 per month. Charter states through their Spectrum internet service, they offer speeds up to 60 megabytes per second, and they charge about $55 per month for that speed. Comcast markets their Xfinity internet service as being able to access speeds up to 2,000 megabits per second in Henry County, which are considered multi-gig speeds. 2,000 megabits per second may be out of reach for most residents because it's at a cost of $299 per month, but Comcast does offer 75 megabytes per second at the rate of $40 per month. Where I live in Henry County, I am limited to AT&T's DSL service at a speed of 3 megabytes per second. They charge me $33 per month and have the nerve to put a cap on how much data I use. After 200 gigabytes of usage, they charge me additional fees, and they get away with this because they don't have any competition in my area. Recently, this is July 8th, I did a speed test on my internet service using the website speedtest.net, and it stated that our internet service is the slowest in the United States, with 92% of the country having faster internet service than we do. The grade we received was an F. How can anyone in my household or my community be productive with 2 megabytes per second download speeds and 0.28 megabytes per second of upload speeds? Why does broadband internet service or broadband internet access matter? As the parent of school-age children, access to broadband internet is critical. Both of my boys are in the gifted program at their school, which is Pace Creek Elementary. One of the goals of this program calls for advanced research. This past school year, at least 35 to 45% of my son's homework, both of them, required them to do some research online or access a video of some sort online. And guess what? Each and every time I had to take them to my parents' house, who live in Conyers, just to have access to broadband internet. My oldest son cannot keep up with one of his best friends who won the First in Math challenge for his entire school because the website First in Math does not function well with our internet service. And my son is capable. As a matter of fact, he is very capable if he had access to broadband internet service. As a business owner, I am at a competitive disadvantage. I produce videos for numerous occasions: weddings, engagement videos, small business commercials, retirement parties, etc. I cannot compete with 3 megabytes per second because videos that are 2 minutes in length take 45 minutes to an hour to upload. Videos that are 10 minutes in length take all night to upload. And anything longer than 15 minutes, like a wedding or some type of special occasion, it's impossible to upload from my home. I can't even update the software on my new desktop computer without going to my parents' house in Conyers. My wife is scheduled to take her board exam at the end of this year. The videos that she has purchased from Emory University that are streamed from their medical education site can't be accessed properly. She has to leave our home and go somewhere that has broadband internet access. She's at a disadvantage. And being able to enjoy leisure services like Netflix or on-demand TV programming or even playing a video game with the latest video game console is a far-fetched fantasy. My suggestion or my suggested solution, let's build our own gigabit internet infrastructure. Gigabit internet is defined as internet access with download speeds at a minimum of 1,000 megabytes per second. And I say let's invest in the infrastructure for our entire county. The benefits. One of the reasons why the county should invest in gigabit internet access is simple: economic development. If you want to attract businesses and the very best in the talent pool, research shows that gigabit networks are a major factor in influencing businesses and talent to come to the area. Another major factor: property values rise. Who doesn't want their property value to rise? Another benefit: the education gap closes. Our children are able to compete with students who are accessing the internet for learning opportunity. And everyone in our county, Henry County, will be able to use the internet for leisure entertainment or to run a home business or to take online courses at a college or university. The Executive Office of the President released a report in January of 2015 titled Community-Based Broadband Solutions, Benefits of Competition and Choice for Community Development and High-Speed Internet Access. In that report, it stated that economic studies confirm that broadband internet creates significant value for consumers and makes an important and rapidly growing contribution to local municipalities and to the GDP. In an article written on motherboard.vice.com, the author stated that communities with gigabit internet access will experience increased property values over communities that don't have gigabit internet access. The article stated that when families go to buy a new home, they most often look for good schools, safe neighborhoods, maybe something near public transportation, but increasingly and undeniably access to gigabit internet service. Cities and towns across the country are beginning to see next generation internet access as a necessity, citing its impact on property values, rent values, and the overall economic health. A CNN report stated that there are educational benefits to communities that have gigabit internet access. Students with broadband internet at home have a 7% higher graduation rate, according to the Federal Communications Commission. Students with broadband internet service are able to access Web 2.0 tools and Web 3.0 tools to collaborate on science projects or even video chat with teachers from around the world. Resources to build gigabit internet access are Next Century Cities, Broadband USA, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Next Century Cities is a public interest initiative that supports cities and leaders as they seek to ensure all have access to affordable, reliable, fast internet, and it is free to join. Broadband USA is the President's latest initiative to support community broadband projects and to promote broadband deployment and adoption. Broadband USA offers online and in-person technical assistance to communities. They host regional workshops around the country and publish guidelines and tools that provide communities with proven solutions to address problems in broadband infrastructure planning, financing, construction, and operations across many business types. As I close, I would like to say if there is anyone that would like to discuss how a gigabit internet infrastructure would benefit our county, I can be reached by email at richardscott@mac.com. My personal cell phone number is 678-525-2770. I have started a Facebook group titled the Henry County Gigabit Movement. I am on Twitter at I am Richard and Instagram at Richard Scott. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I sincerely thank you for your time and consideration, and I look forward to working with you to bring gigabit internet service to Henry County. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Addressing this issue, it's about a year or two ago, and it kind of got lost. I don't know what happened, but there was a bid out, and we kind of dropped it, and kind of dropped the ball on the entire process. So what I was hoping that Skip can come up and tell us where we are today and what could we do to move this forward. I think this is a very important initiative for this county. You know, everybody knows that we're not competing just in Henry County. We're competing against the world, basically. So I think it's very important that we start looking at trying to move forward on initiatives as important as this.
I agree. Gentlemen, thanks for listening to me. I agree with this gentleman 100%. Broadband is definitely something we have got to work on. The absolute fact of the matter is cost. We're looking $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a mile to pull fiber. That's, you know, you get a strand of fiber, you have 12 strands, 24 strands, 48 strands. The higher the strands come in, the higher the price is going to be. So you're going to end up $50,000, $60,000 a mile. Now, we're trying to pull fiber into our building right now from one point of presence. That one pull is going to be close to $500,000 just for that one pull. If we started today and fibered the entire county, we're looking probably $15 million to build a fiber ring out, and that's not going to touch the public. That wouldn't get close to the public yet. We're looking 5-10 years down the road maybe. That fiber ring would connect our buildings, the schools maybe, mostly government entities, some of the fire stations. Even those, some of them would not be touched because they're so far out. You can't pull $300,000 worth of fiber to save $50 a month on a connection. It's just not going to do it. And Charter, we have a neighborhood right behind us. There's 3 empty lots. One of our techs wanted to get UVerse in there. AT&T wouldn't pull it past 3 houses until those 3 houses were built. Private company. He's not going to spend $10,000 to make $50 a month. Other than that, guys, we are definitely trying to get fiber pulled into this county to better the county business and the schools. But how long it will take to get to the public, that's a huge question. And it's a lot of money. So, but any questions, guys?
District 2?
Steve, I've had some conversations with, and Commissioner Holmes is exactly right. I mean, we looked at this issue a few years ago, but, and I think that it was good that those discussions at least led to, I know, and I'm sure Bruce did too, but afterwards I got calls from several of our providers here in the county, and they don't like to publicize their maps of where they have fiber in the county, but they just said if you ever have any issues or concerns of where you're not getting service, whether it's business or so forth, keep us posted. And that's why I was just going to tell Mr. Scott that I appreciate him sharing all his contact information. I've already drafted up the email to one of my liaisons that I know we've dealt with at the county at AT&T, and let's see if we can at least find out if there's a build-out schedule, because I know I've seen it in several of my neighborhoods within my district that there's been huge infrastructure investments here in the last year. So I don't want us to, believe me, I understand how hard it is when you don't have the infrastructure. I mean, internet is just as powerful as water and electricity these days. I mean, when you talk about your business and your children, I completely get it. I mean, Khan Academy and all those other things that are incredible resources for our kids, if you don't have that, but before I run AT&T or our other providers under the bus and come back, because as you even said, it's a lot of investment, a lot of cost, I'd like to give them a chance with Mr. Scott to defend themselves. So that's why I've got an email that you'll be receiving shortly. So we're going to see if we can put you in contact with our liaison over at AT&T and see where things go.
And I would be glad to go out with them and whatever I can do, because we may have dark fiber in the air already that we could lease out to Charter or AT&T. There's a lot of time that we could sit down and figure this thing out. But the biggest problem is absolutely cost. It's going to be cost and time. I feel his pain. I have 15 meg DSL or UVerse at my house. I'm the IT director. I feel the same pain. I know what he's dealing with.
Right.
And I can't imagine at 3 meg, I don't know what I would do. But I feel the pain and understand it, but it all boils down to money and infrastructure and time. If we started tomorrow, it would be 2 or 3 years to pull a ring around this county. You got to touch every pole. You got to get right-of-ways. You got to get over the interstates. You got to get over the railroad tracks. There's a lot of infrastructure and items you have to get around to get this done.
Google is laying fiber in Hateville and Decatur, close to the county line, Henry County line. Have we reached out to them to see if we can be a part of that?
We have, and
initiative?
probably every other county in the country has talked to them. What they're looking for is a very large footprint of customers, basically. The problem with Henry County is we're a very large landmass spread out, very large, so it costs a lot more to get to fewer people. And, you know, if I go up in that area and I get 10,000 customers a mile, or I come down here and get 200 customers a mile, and I don't know the numbers, that's just a wag, but I don't think they would invest the money anytime soon until the population density grew further. Now, they may come into the middle of McDonough eventually because you have a lot more density here and do something like that, but I don't see it in the near future. I'll probably be retired by then, but. Any other questions, guys?
Thank you so much.
Sir, let me know. I'll be glad to help. Whatever.
Consent agenda. The following agenda items shall be considered on the consent agenda.